how hot it may seem.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about the antics anymore. That's been there, done that. And this is what happens to people that don't have talent and they just have gimmicks. Gimmicks.
Whoa. They don't have talent. They just have gimmicks. I don't know. I never listened to 6ix9ine music. What is up, YouTube? How y'all doing? Yeah. Check it out without a doubt, man. I cannot believe this. I ran down here again to let you guys know we are keeping up with all the latest real things that's going on in the music industry, and we are back talking about I'm sorry, 6ix9ine. Mike, don't do that. Tekashi 6ix9ine is back in jail, man, because of parole violation. Didn't he just sign some type of a couple of million? It wasn't no $1 million record deal. And I know it wasn't $2 million. And I'm going to stop right there. It might have been 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, $20 million deal. I guess the younger generation is not in it for the money anymore. I mean, I think they like the fame of being, I'm a bad boy or whatever the case may be. Speaking of bad boy, he is in the same jail with Diddy, I heard. So I don't know how much this is true. I'm listening to this stuff, and next thing you know, I'm like, I got to get up because I haven't done it all. But real quick, I did a video of showing how I actually do my research and everything on these channels and stuff before we do the reactions. And I apologize. I'm going to apologize. We're going to leave this one on normal speed. When I'm doing my research, I want to hurry up because the videos are so long, so I put it on a faster speed because I can hear English real quick. So I apologize because it was on that. And I said, well, let me leave it on there a little faster to see if they like it. And obviously, letting y'all know I read the comments, they didn't like it. So we probably got 1 or 2 more that's going to go up there with a fast speed. But I can slow it down, though, before we edit it. Got to talk to my editors. Hey, hit that subscribe button and hit that bell. Let's check this bad boy. Yeah.
And as I'm checking my phone, I see Academics via X drops breaking news. Daniel Tekashi 6ix9ine Hernandez has been taken into federal custody for violating the conditions of his supervised release. Now, he was arrested for unspecified alleged violation, like I just said, of his supervised release. He was released from prison back in 2020 and put on supervised release after a 2018 arrest on charges of racketeering and conspiracy to commit murder. He pleaded guilty and testified against his gang, the 9 Trey Gangsta Bloods. Remember that very vividly.
That's how he got the name, The Snitch. Oh, my God.
That was a heavy topic of discussion 4 years ago, how time definitely flies and moves on. He's a blimp in our radar in hip-hop nowadays, and I think, and we said this 5, 6 years ago, there would be a time and a place where the only time we talked about 6ix9ine is if he's being arrested or something worse in such irrelevancy that crazy. The only things they would care about is these 2 controversies right here, because people are tired. Nobody cares about the music anymore, no matter how many times you change it, no matter how hot it may seem.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody cares about the antics anymore. That's been there, done that. And this is what happens to people that don't have talent and they just have gimmicks. Gimmicks.
Whoa. They don't have talent. They just have gimmicks. I don't know. I never listened to 6ix9ine music, so I don't know. I know it's a little on the gimmicky side. I know that part, but I think he got some talent. He got to have some talent to get a record deal.
Eventually run out, and this is what we're left with. So I guess further information will be dropped as the news comes about. But as of right now, again, he is in federal custody for violating his supervised release. Once we find out more, we will let you know here on Viral Hip Hop News. If you care. If you're not, shit, I don't care either. And that is what it is. Sandman, CEO, the brand, again, Viral Hip Hop News. Where loyalty lies. You see the title on the screen. Go check it.
All right, so I didn't mean to click on that in my mouse. I gotta get some batteries. I gotta get some batteries for my mouse, man. So I wanted to play that in the beginning first because this guy kind of like set the tone for what's about to come on this one. I ain't got my glasses on. 6ix9ine, breaking news. He's locked up with Diddy. So this is the second video, y'all, that's saying that he's locked up in the same jail with Diddy. Man, they about to start throwing down, having some parties up in that joint. The jailhouse rock ready to be rocking. So let's check this out, man.
Trina, Pensy, 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦, 5 Time.
Mm.
Salute to everybody else in the building. Twan, Junebug, everybody else in the building, man. Look, let's get into this, man.
Yeah, let's
Boy, this
get
boy
this.
ain't got no brains, man. This
Oh
dude,
my God.
Tekashi 69, is in the jail, is in the, court right now, crying to the judge,
Crying to the
begging the
judge.
judge to please let him free. Now, this dude got pulled up
Okay, we
and
know
popped
that.
by the feds because he violated his probation or he violated the terms of his release from when he snitched on uh, the other dudes that was in his case. So he violated that, and now the feds went and popped him up. So today he pulls up in the courthouse with his lawyer, and the judge says, "Look, man, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what happened. I'm gonna
Okay.
read it verbatim so y'all can hear what happened in court just now, because I was watching it." So the judge says, "All rise." So the judge, who's Judge 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦, says, "We're here on a violation of supervised release. Defendant was supposed to appear today at 9:30 a.m. and did not. So he was arrested at 10:30 a.m. I need to arraign him on 3 violations. Mr.
3.
Lazaro, have you read them?" Now, Lazaro, you guys, is Tekashi 69's lawyer. That's his lawyer. You understand what I'm saying?
3 of them?
That's his lawyer. Is Lazaro. That's his lawyer, right?
Okay.
Now, let's keep going, right?
Right.
His lawyer said yes. The judge says, "Mr. Lazaro," he says, "turn off your phone. Is it off?" "Mr. Smallman, swear to defendant." Done. The judge says, "Is your mind clear?" Question mark. Tekashi 69 says, "Yes, Your Honor." And then the judge says, "Have you discussed it with your attorney?"
Mm.
Tekashi says, "I live in Florida. First time I seen him." And then the judge says, "You're charged with travel to Las Vegas without permission, not turning up for drug testing, using the N word, M word, MET word, METH." He says, "How do you plead?" Tekashi 69 says, "Not guilty." The judge says, "So, he asked the prosecutors, what are the basis of your charges?" You know what I'm saying? Now, Rebo, the officer, says Officer Bryce in the Southern District of Florida,
Mm.
right? So the prosecution says on September the 7th, he went to Las Vegas without receiving any permission. They want to amend or supersede with details of his weekend.
You have already been through a whole court system. That should scare you enough. That should scare you enough right there. And let you know that these people ain't playing, they watching you. You are out, you on parole, man. You gotta abide by some type of rules.
Of this weekend.
Mm-mm-mm.
On Saturday, the defendant went to Sarasota. When confronted, Mr. Hernandez, who's Tekashi 69, y'all, denied being there. But there's proof. Then
And you lying to the court? Oh my God, you don't want to do that, baby. You want to throw yourself on the mercy of the court. You don't want to lie to. Oh my God, man, these people. No, who is telling him what to say and what not to say? That's the part that's killing me.
the government says 2 times in the last 2 weeks,
2 times in
he
the last two
tested
weeks.
positive for MET, you know what. He says, "We got a letter from Dr. Rebecca Wang in Florida. Do you have it?" Question mark. The judge says no. Then the prosecution says, "I'll show it to his lawyer first."
Mm.
The judge says, "Please do." Then the judge says, "Now I have them. Now I have them." Then
Wait, so his lawyer is saying that he already have him, like they already know that he.
the prosecution says, "I'll show it to his lawyer
I
first."
showed you his lawyer.
The judge says, "Please do." Then the judge says, "Now I have them. Now I have them." Then
I missed that part.
the prosecution says they're backdated to August and September, received today. They're designed to provide the explanation of why he tested positive for this substance, including a ADD word and a DIG word. It says, "Judge, are you saying they're not from Dr. Wayne?" Is what the judge says. And the prosecution says no. The prosecution says there's skepticism about the dating of the letter, and the defendant was unable to provide prescription bottles. The judge says, "So is through the black market means? Question mark. The government says, or it's just a way to try to explain a positive test. The judge says, I granted him compassionate release in light of his blank sensitivity when they had the pandemic. Said he was sensitive to that, so the judge said he granted him compassionate release, but he's still under supervision. Wasn't he in the Dominican Republic arrested and not able to leave? Does that count towards the running of his supervised release? Question mark. The government says, let me check. The judge says, while in Dominican Republic, he was unable to violate U.S. law. So how does this time there count towards his supervised release? I don't get that. Then the government says, I'm told that as long as he's at liberty, even if he's not in the U.S., it counts towards his supervised release. The judge says, I'm told he paid his financial duty. He has 160 hours of community service left in the next 6 months.
Wow.
There are other significant issues. The judge went on to say that there was physical altercation in the Dominican Republic, domestic violence, and battery.
What?
A speeding ticket in Florida for going 198 miles per hour in an unregistered car.
Oh my God, are you serious? This is somebody who already had dealings with the law, almost got locked up. He gets out. 100 and what?
The Dominican Republic, domestic violence, and battery. A speeding ticket in Florida for going 198 miles per hour.
198 miles per hour. I have a motorcycle that can do that. And that is fast in a car. That is super fast in a car. Why are you doing this, man? And you ain't even got no registration on the car. The paperwork on the car ain't even right. What is wrong? What is wrong? Maybe, is it me? Maybe I'm
in an unregistered car that was apparently resolved. He said he's going to Russia on October the 19th.
Russia?
Is what this guy said, right? Now y'all check this out. It gets deeper than this, right?
It can't
so
be. It can't
now
get deeper.
It goes on to say the judge says, so we have to decide when we have an evidentiary hearing and what to do with Tekashi 6ix9ine or Mr. Hernandez until then. The prosecution says we can move quickly. The judge says to Tekashi's lawyer, are we likely looking at a disposition? And Tekashi's lawyer says, I like that. There are factors that weigh in his favor. The judge says, you need to confer with him. He has a liberty interest. What if we reconvene next Thursday at 9 a.m.? What I envision, Mr. Lazaro, is there's not a disposition. We'll have an evidentiary hearing, and the prosecution says November the 8th, and the judge says I can't. How about November the 12th at 1:30 p.m.? The prosecution said that's tough too. The judge says, so November the 12th, Tekashi 6ix9ine's lawyer says, how about the 7th? And the government says, nah, we prefer November the 12th. And the judge says the 12th then. A letter by noon on the 7th, defense by the 8th. And then the prosecution says, let's orally amend the specification. The judge says in writing is better. The judge says, let's address detention or release before November the 12th. Government, question mark. And then the government says, we believe that detention, which means holding him in jail, is appropriate. He's a risk not to return, compounded by the conduct this weekend, knowing he had a VOSR proceeding, leaving and being dishonest. The prosecution said there's the conduct in the Dominican Republic while ordered to remain there to stand trial. Instead, he left through Haiti and then left Haiti back to the U.S. He boasted about this on his own podcast show. And then the prosecution says that does not bode well for him returning here.
That's crazy.
The judge says on the theory that actions speak louder than words, the government said he's also posing a danger to himself with controlled substances. We ask that he be detained. And then it says, the judge says, Mr. Lazaro talking to Tekashi's lawyer. Tekashi's lawyer says, continue him on release.
Are you serious? This boy is not doing a drug test. He's speeding in a car. He's leaving the country. You just don't care. You don't care. If you was a judge, what would you do? What would you making me do my job, man?
Then Tekashi's lawyer said he went to Las Vegas to perform before 20,000 people to try to survive. The judge says survive, and Tekashi's lawyer says financially, he thought he text probation. He thought he text probation. The judge said he was supposed to get permission 2 weeks in advance. 6ix9ine's lawyer then said he has to pay for his own security. He's never accepted the government's offer for security.
That's not the government's problem. That's not their problem. If he didn't accept the security from the government, if you decline it, that's on you. That's not
in advance.
You can't use that as an excuse.
6ix9ine's lawyer then said he has to pay for his own security.
Pay for his own security.
He's never accepted the government's offer for security. Dr. Wong, probation required him to attend in 2023. He did not backdate them. They are legit. He was prescribed blank for medical conditions. The judge said it seems like a fruitful issue to litigate. 6ix9ine's lawyer says he flew from Florida to Newark last night and stayed in a hotel there. So he was an hour late. That's why they want to detain him. He understands the court gave him a break. Let him out. The judge says he got a break, and deservedly so, as a cooperator, a snitch. Well, he didn't say snitch, but as a cooperator.
Oh, man.
He said, but there's a pattern, including the conduct in Dominican Republic. It reflects a full spectrum disregard for the law.
Yes.
6ix9ine's lawyer said, no, it's not international. Oh, no, he said it's not intentional. That's what he said. Then his lawyer says the Dominican Republic is totally corrupt. He was being extorted by the judge. The judge said he's sued by a former girlfriend in Florida. Everything can't be someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Tekashi's lawyer says he's different than you or I. Tekashi's lawyer told the judge, y'all, he's different than you and I.
What?
He's an entertainer. The judge said,
how is that different?
He has a duty to turn square corners and not musically riff. 6ix9ine's lawyer says he will return on the 12th. Now, the MDC where Diddy is locked up is where they sending his ass, right? So check this out. Tekashi's lawyer said he'll return on the 12th. The MDC is not a good place to be. Now, mind y'all, that they just did an investigation and a raid on the MDC yesterday because of certain conditions that they said that was going on in that jail that Diddy's in right now.
Yeah, everybody talks bad on how bad that jail is. Why would you want to go back to any jail? Why would you want to go back to any jail? Forget how bad that jail is.
Tekashi's lawyer is trying to fight to keep him out of the MDC because that's where his ass is going. And he says the MDC is not a good place to be. The judge says his actions are checking him in. I don't have confidence he will show up. The judge says I'm going to detain him until the hearing 2 weeks from now. 6ix9ine's lawyer said my client would like to address you. I don't have a problem with that. The judge says, Mr. Hernandez, talking to Tekashi 6ix9ine, he says, anything you say can be held against you. Do you understand?
Anything you say
and then
will be held against you.
Tekashi says yes. And Tekashi says, first, I want to apologize for arriving late this morning. I don't live in NY. I live in Florida. I woke up late. I was released on April the 2nd, 2020. I've been on probation since. The judge says, move away from the microphone. I think you'd understand that. Then Tekashi says, I know my counsel told me not to speak, but the truth stays the same. I've sat with the government many times. You're my judge. I know how strict you are. My goal is not to be in front of you ever. You're a smart person. I can't lie to you. I'm not a piece of, I'm not a bad person. I apologize. I'm coming down to my last 6 months of probation. In the last 6 months, why would I mess up now? My case was transferred to Florida a couple of months ago. The system is different. The system is different, more strict. The thing about September the 7th, the judge says, I advise you not to talk about that. 6ix9ine says, I performed at the T-Mobile Arena. I thought I had permission. I posted it. I didn't get a text back. I'm human. I have that system. I tested positive for reefer. The judge says, you were told to get permission 2 weeks in advance. Tekashi says, my system with the FDNY Manhattan was different. I'm owning up. I performed in front of 20,000 people. I know it's technically wrong, is what Tekashi said, right? And so the judge, ladies and gentlemen, got tired of hearing this dude, right? And locked his ass up, right? So now, Tekashi 6ix9ine has now been locked up with P. Diddy.
Wow.
In the MDC detention center.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And then they said it's a bit more. The judge says, I trust prosecutors will take into the account issues raised by his cooperation. And the prosecutor said, we will. Judge said the court stands ready to assist. We are now adjourned. And so now, Tekashi 6ix9ine is locked up with Diddy. So Tekashi 6ix9ine, who snitched and gave up information on
jail.
People who was with him, has now been locked up by the feds for violating his probation, violating the terms of his probation. And now Tekashi 6ix9ine, y'all, Tekashi 6ix9ine now may end up going to prison for a long time for violation of his terms of supervised release if he goes to trial and is found guilty on those charges.
Don't say that.
So
don't send him.
Somebody said, what is the MDC? The MDC is the Metropolitan Detention Center where he is kept.
No, don't send him to prison.
Right?
He's labeled as a snitch.
So now, Tekashi 6ix9ine is locked up with the diddler. So they got him in the bing bing. And now, he's probably going to cry. Because he is locked down, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if he's going to have some conversations with Diddy through the walls.
Oh, man.
Or if you can even hear through those walls. You can only hear the screams. But Tekashi 6ix9ine, ladies and gentlemen, has just been locked up with the infamous P. Diddy, run the city, show no pity, in the Metropolitan Detention Center. And now they have 2 big-time names in that current jail awaiting hearings and awaiting certain trials. And so we're going to have to see how this pans out for good old Tekashi 6ix9ine, y'all. As Tekashi is, man, he's in a bad situation now, y'all.
Also, one of the comments said that they're going to start a record label in jail and they're going to turn the jail out and stuff. So you hear all the stuff. This is sad, man. This is really sad. You known as a snitch. If you, whatever your reason for snitching is, the streets don't play that part. They don't play that part. And what's in the streets is the people that's in the jail. They came from the streets. So the street rule is you a snitch because everybody else saying you're a snitch. So snitches get stitches and all that type of stuff, man. He can't go to prison, dog. He cannot go to prison, man. He too little. You know, I cannot believe all the stuff. I can see if it's 1 or 2 things that he violated on his parole. It's 3 or 4 things, and then he had a nerve to get himself in trouble in another area. Come on, man. Golly. What is going on? I used to work for a law firm, and I wasn't no lawyer or I was a driver. So I was driving. My job was to drive the papers to the court building. And sometimes when the lawyer would be in court, I would file the papers and stuff. Then I go sit in the back of courtroom just to see what's going on and stuff. And I remember going to a court hearing of one of my friends, and you should have seen the way he dropped to his knees when that judge hit that 10-year sentence or 8-year sentence or whatever that long time was he gave him. And this dude that was all gangster and thorough up in the daggone streets and everything and waving guns and doing all this stuff dropped down like a baby and cried his crocodile eyes out. And I was like, man, get up. You making us look bad, man. You supposed, because see, the reality side sets in, and then you got all this smoke and mirror curtain type stuff that, you bad out in the street, but you ain't bad when that judge started. You seen plenty of people do that, man. So, dude, I'm hoping that this message is getting to somebody, to change your ways, man, out there. Hey, I'm going to get on up out of here. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out.